This module is part of the Canadian Injury Prevention curriculum. Audio is required for an enhanced learning experience. Throughout the module, you can access the glossary by clicking the upper left-hand corner in the toolbar above the video and the resources below the video. If at any time you are confused, stuck, or need help, you can click on the upper right-hand corner in the toolbar above the video. Welcome to the Introduction to Evaluation. This module is designed for injury prevention practitioners to provide a basic understanding of what evaluation means, the primary uses of evaluation, and the importance of establishing evaluation in programming. In the first 4 lessons of the Canadian Injury Prevention curriculum, we define the stages of the public health approach to injury prevention. Specifically, we looked at how to define the injury problem, identify the risk and protective factors, how to select or design a program, and how to implement that program for your target population. Evaluation is the last stage of the public health approach. However, laying the groundwork for evaluation occurs throughout the entire process. This module contains a glossary that can be accessed anytime. The glossary contains terms and definitions that will be used throughout the module. If, at any time during the module, you would like to review a term's definition, this glossary can be accessed on the upper left tab in the toolbar above this video on the page where the resources are. By the end of this module, you will have an understanding of some of the tools used to effectively evaluate programs, policies, and initiatives. You will be able to define evaluation, recognize its primary uses, recognize the importance of establishing an evaluation plan, and understand the role of evaluation. What is evaluation? According to evaluation expert Michael Patton, evaluation is the systematic collection of information about activities, characteristics, and outcomes of programs, policies, or other initiatives to make judgments about the intervention, improve effectiveness, and/or inform decisions about future planning. There are many misconceptions about evaluation. What do you think are the most common myths about evaluating an injury prevention program? Consider some of these conversations.
I've been thinking a lot about how we're going to evaluate our Safe Play program, and I really think we need to hire an expert evaluator. Evaluation is above our heads. We don't know how to execute a complicated analysis. We wouldn't even know where to start.
Evaluation doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't need to involve a complicated design or complicated analysis. The process and approach can be very different for every community and every program. There is no single way of doing evaluation. Consider the following conversation.
I've finalized the budget for our grant application, but I'm thinking we should remove evaluation from the budget. It's going to be too expensive.
Evaluation doesn't have to be a huge financial burden. It can be done inexpensively. There are many resources available in the community, including many listed below, that can support evaluation at little to no cost. Consider the following conversation. It looks like everything is on target for the rollout of our program this spring.
Great! What evaluation strategies have you built in?
Oh, we don't need to worry about evaluation until the program is finished. Evaluation is an ongoing process that begins as soon as the idea for an injury prevention program is conceived. It is important to fine-tune your initiative every step of the way so that you can make the adjustments needed and avoid surprises later. Evaluation isn't about making judgments on a program or intervention after it is complete. It should never be viewed as an add-on or optional component. Why is evaluation so important? Take a minute to describe why you think evaluation is important. Evaluation planning helps to establish reasonable, practical objectives for dealing with challenges that arise and will inform adjustments that need to be made in a timely manner. Having an evaluation plan also helps to determine if you have accomplished your initiative's objectives. It provides feedback that will help market the initiative by providing information to funding sources, the media, and the public. Finally, it helps to suggest ways to increase the initiative's effectiveness in the future. There are three main types of evaluation: formative evaluation, process evaluation, and outcome evaluation. The first type of evaluation is formative evaluation. Formative evaluation involves activities at the pre-project planning stage and during the initial implementation phase. This type of evaluation considers the need, fit, supporting evidence, and resources required for the program being implemented. Formative evaluation may test the material and messages before the initiative is actually implemented. Some examples of tools used in formative evaluation are needs assessments, logic models, and the Plan, Do, Study, Act model. Remember, these are only a few examples of tools used in evaluation and are by no means an exhaustive list. These tools will be discussed with more detail later in the module. Here are some examples of questions that are asked when thinking about creating a formative evaluation plan. How can we increase participation in the program? What materials could be helpful before, during, and after implementation of a program? What stakeholders should be involved with this project? What resources are available to me? I mentioned earlier that one example of a tool used in formative evaluation is a needs assessment. A needs assessment is a tool used to understand the public's interpretation of the injury problem, the necessity and fit of the program being introduced to reduce the problem, and the current public and political will in addressing the problem. To conduct a needs assessment, some practitioners use something called a SWOT analysis, which is a framework to address the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of implementing the program. You can also use surveys or focus groups to collect the data necessary to complete a needs assessment. Here are a few resources if you are interested in learning more about needs assessments. Another example of a tool used in formative evaluation is a logic model. Logic models are particularly useful in identifying the problem and the necessary inputs and resources needed to support the program. The model helps you identify the problem that you are addressing, the inputs required to support the program, the anticipated outputs of the program including the activities and participation you are expecting, and the desired outcomes of the program including short, intermediate, and long-term outcomes. Here are a few resources if you are interested in learning more about logic models. Finally, there is the Plan, Do, Study, Act model. This model provides a roadmap for practitioners to replicate implementation of a program and provides a process for practitioners to continually learn and improve from. In the plan stage, objectives, questions, and program plans are identified. In the do stage, the plan is carried out. Problems and unexpected observations are documented, and data analysis begins. In the study phase, data analysis is complete and a summary of what was learned is developed. In the act stage, changes and adjustments are made for the next cycle if necessary. Here are a few resources if you are interested in learning more about the Plan, Do, Study, Act model. The second type of evaluation is process evaluation. Process evaluation focuses on how well a program's plans, procedures, activities, and materials are working. This type of evaluation allows for early identification of problems and tests whether the initiative was implemented as intended. To collect information to conduct a process evaluation, practitioners can use focus groups, observations, and surveys. Here are some examples of questions that are asked when thinking about creating a process evaluation plan. How many people actually attend the program? Is the time of day that the program is being offered working? Are the program components being implemented as intended? Are participants in the program representative of the target population? The last type of evaluation is outcome evaluation. Outcome evaluation focuses on the success of the initiative and typically answers the burning question of did I do what I set out to do and did it make a difference? Outcome evaluation tests whether the program met its ultimate goal and objectives. Practitioners would decide very early in the evaluation plan what the outcomes are and the specific data collection methods to evaluate them. This could include evaluating the reduction in injuries post-implementation of the program. It could be the change in knowledge and beliefs about injury and injury risk, or could be a change in behavior. Here are some examples of questions that are asked when thinking about creating an outcome evaluation plan. Do the benefits of the program justify continued allocation of resources? Did the program have any unintended effects on the target population? Did implementation of the program result in behavior change or a reduction in injury among the target population? Are participants satisfied with what they gained from the program? Now that we have gone through the different types of evaluation, it is time to check your understanding. Read the following statements and correctly identify the evaluation type from the drop-down menu. There are 9 steps involved in the evaluation planning process. Let's go into more detail. Step 1. Clarify your initiative. At the onset, it is very important to clearly define your goals and objectives. You need to consider the outcome you are wishing to achieve, the population you are wishing to target, when you are wishing to achieve the outcome, and the criteria that needs to be met for you to know the initiative has been successful. Consider the following example. Enroll 100 students in the Safe Talk Suicide Awareness training by the end of the fiscal year. Now, think about an initiative that you want to implement. Use the blank template below to help clearly define your initiative's goals and objectives. Once you have completed all of the steps in this evaluation planning activity, you can print a copy for your reference by pressing the printer icon in the top right corner of this page. Step 2. Engage stakeholders. This step involves defining who your stakeholders are and what their role will be. They might include clients, staff, board members, community partners, or maybe even funders. It is important to understand stakeholders' interests and expectations, and very important to involve stakeholders in the decision-making process. This will increase the likelihood of success. Using the objective you defined in Step 1, scribe who the stakeholders would be and what you think their interests and expectations are. Step 3. Assess resources. Do you have the funding available to implement your initiative? What does your budget look like? As a general rule, 10% of a total initiative budget should be allocated to evaluation. What is your personal capacity? Staff availability? Are you able to tap into the support of partner organizations? Does equipment need to be purchased? Do you have any volunteers available? Step 4. Design your evaluation. Reflecting back on the knowledge you have gained thus far in this module, select the type of evaluation that is appropriate for your initiative and the methods you will use to design your evaluation and collect the necessary data. Step 5. Determine the method of measurement. There are 2 types of measurement you can use in your data collection and analysis: quantitative and qualitative. Both methods are important and often used together. Quantitative data and analysis is the application and evaluation of numerical data, typically obtained through counting systems and surveys. Qualitative data and analysis is the application and evaluation of more in-depth, open-ended data, typically obtained through personal interviews, focus groups, and participant observations. As the great Albert Einstein once said, "Not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted." Take a minute to think about the quantitative and qualitative data collection and analysis methods you may use. Step 6. Data collection. Now that you have determined the types of measurement methods you will use, it is time for data collection. In this step, how the data will be collected, what questions will be asked, and who will ask them will be addressed. Take a minute to describe what this looks like for your initiative. Step 7. Data analysis. It is important in this step to identify who will analyze the data and how the analysis will be conducted. Remember, data analysis doesn't have to be a complicated process. Write down the person on your team that will analyze the data for your project. If you are unsure of how the data analysis will be carried out, consult with your analyst to complete this step. Step 8. Interpretation and dissemination. In this step, several questions will be explored, including: who will report the findings and how? Will the results be submitted to a peer-reviewed journal? Will the team disseminate a press release to the media? Will stakeholders be provided a newsletter? Who will receive the results and when? How will the results be circulated? These questions should be answered in consultation with your entire team, particularly with the stakeholders and knowledge users. This will help you to design a dissemination plan that is applicable and useful. Step 9. Take action. Think about how your results could be applied in other places. What do the results mean for your initiative? Is your initiative accomplishing your goals and objectives? How can the results of your evaluation be used to improve the program in the future? What would a module about evaluation be without an evaluation of its own? There are two parts to complete the evaluation of this module. The first part is intended to assess if you have shifted your readiness to tackle program evaluation. The first question asked you how you felt before you began the module, and how you feel now that you have completed the module. The second question is about behavior change. The second part of the evaluation of this module is a feedback form. This feedback form will help us to improve the quality of this module. Please click on the link in the question panel to complete the survey.